Good morning, Internet. Welcome back to the workshop. In today's video, we're going to make a stand for the lathe. We're going to do it using some 2-inch tubing and some 1/4-inch plate. If that interests you, stay tuned. We'll get started. So the work height on my mini lathe is about 45 inches or 48 inches to the top of the chuck. This is a comfortable work height for me, so I think I want to replicate that on the new lathe. So this lathe is a 12-inch model. It measures 14 inches from the table to the center of the work and 17 inches from the table to the top of the chuck. Since I like the height of the mini lathe, I want to replicate it with this one. So based on that, I need the top of my stand to be at roughly 32 inches. So here's kind of what I'm thinking for the design of this. So I'll build this thing in an A-frame design, wider on the bottom than on the top. The top will be 12 inches wide. That will match the width of my lathe. Height-wise, 32 inches, as this will put the lathe at a comfortable height. I'm going to install a brace at 24 inches. That'll give me room for a toolbox under the lathe. And then to space this thing apart, those two legs are going to be held together with 4 side braces. The top two will support a table 48 inches long to match the length of my lathe. And then the bottom braces will be 32 inches long to match the center to center distance on the lathe's mounts. So I'm going to start with the legs first. I'm going to cut them to 32 inches long. Because this is an A-frame design, the ends are not square, or they're not at 90 degrees. I did a little bit of math, and I calculate I need to cut a 5-degree end on each. So we're going to start there. I'm just going to cut them in the chop saw. So this is the top. The mounting holes on the feet on my lathe are 32 inches apart. So I've set it up so that those holes will be right in the center of these cross braces. So I want to put this together first. I'm going to grab my welder and I'm just going to tack it on the corners. I'll do 8 tacks this side, flip it over, do 8 tacks on the other. Now I want to weld these 4 on the underside so I can then put the legs on. Because we're not at 90 degrees, there's going to be a slight overlap with that weld joint. So I'm going to weld it, grind it flat, and then we'll weld these legs on. Thirty-five and an eighth, 35 and an eighth. So I'm going to tack this on all 4 corners, and then I'm going to bring the other one in and lay it on top. I'm going to weld it together so they match. That way, if my angles are slightly wrong, it won't matter because they'll be the same. So the way I think I'll put this together, I think I'll tack this side on each side, get it to where that's in place, and then I've got to use a clamp to pull these up slightly. They're about a 1/4 inch off. So I'm really happy with how this looks, how it's turning out. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to clean up the areas and we're going to weld the thing fully. I'm going to mount the tabletop to the base. I'm just going to bolt it, some 5/16 by 3.5 bolts. That should give me enough distance to pull it tight. And then if I ever want to take it off for some reason, it'll be easy to remove. I'm going to put 6 on each side, 6 on this side, 6 on this side for a total of 12. And then I'll have the 2 bolts go through the middle here and there that actually hold the lathe in place, hold it to the bed. I think this thing will be plenty sturdy once I do that. So I'm going to use the mag drill, just drill these holes. I've got them marked. I'm going to punch them. I'll put, let's see, every 4 feet. What is 48 over 6? Every 8 inches. So I'm going to put one every 8 inches down each side. So I've got the tabletop bolted to the stand, and I've got the lathe bolted to both the tabletop and the stand, and it looks really good. It feels really rigid, it feels really sturdy. I'm super happy with how it turned out, and I really like the height. It's just the perfect height for me to stand here and work on it without being hunched over or otherwise uncomfortable. I've ordered some 3/8 shim stock that I can put under the feet here and level this thing out. So when that comes, I will actually take the time and I'll level the lathe bed on the table. So I'm not going to take this any further in this video. I want to paint this. I want to make the legs match the lathe, but it's really cold. It's 38 degrees in the shop and it's supposed to be in the 30s all week. So if I put this paint on here, it's oil-based and it would just take way too long to dry. I'm not going to assemble the lathe any more than it is now either. It's really heavy when it's put together, and if I put anything else on here, I'm not going to be able to move it. So before I do anything else really, I want to clear the spot over with the other tools and move it and get it in its final place. And then once it's there, I can bolt it to the concrete, I can paint the stand, and I can put it together. So that's what I'm going to do in the next video. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out for part 3. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. You know, I had a lot of fun making it. It was really nice to get out, get in the sunshine, and not think about work on my computer. If you enjoyed watching this, would you consider subscribing to my channel? It'd be very much appreciated. I put a lot of time and a lot of energy into these videos, and I enjoy making them. So when I see you guys subscribe and I see your comments, it lets me know that you enjoy watching the videos as much as I enjoy making them. So if you would consider subscribing, that would be appreciated. So with that, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to call this one done. Thank you for watching.